Laro, the 2015-2016 president of the Alpha chapter of Epsilon Omega Epsilon. On behalf of EOE, I welcome you and your guests to honor our society's induction ceremony and general business meeting. We are broadcasting live from TWU's Administration Conference Tower in Denton, Texas. First, I would like to introduce the other EOE officers here with us tonight via web stream. Courtney Knight, our Public Relations Officer, who resides in Houston. In addition, our chapter advisor, Jessica Birchfield, is here with us tonight. We would also like to acknowledge some special guests in the audience tonight. We are delighted to welcome Epsilon Omega Epsilon's founding board member, Amy O'Keefe, Executive Director of CARE, Annie Phillips, Assistant Director of Community and Distance Education, Ann Scott, Director of Alumni Relations, Allison Rogers, Communications Coordinator for Teaching and Learning with Technology, and Brandy Gollier, Program Director for the Bachelor of General Studies. Our inductees tonight are joining us one of three ways. Some are here on campus, some are watching the live broadcast over the internet, and others will be viewing the recording of this ceremony later at their convenience. We are so excited to honor each of you. The founding board members of EOE at Texas Women's University recognize the unique challenges of our online learners. In the spring of 2009, with widespread university support, the founding board created this honor society to acknowledge and celebrate the perseverance and dedication required to obtain an online academic achievement. Tonight, we are pleased to induct 80 new members into the Alpha chapter of the Epsilon Omega Epsilon Honor Society. As candidates for membership, you are to be congratulated on your perseverance and high academic achievement. Following this induction ceremony, we will have our general business meeting in which we will discuss goals and objectives for the next semester, important deadlines, and upcoming events. Now I'd like to introduce to you Chapter Advisor Jessica Birchfield, who will explain the significance of EOE.
Thank you, Rosie. Good evening, everyone who's here and those who are online. Welcome. In a moment, we are going to ask all of you to take the Pledge of Membership. But before you take that oath, we would like to provide an explanation of the symbols that represent Epsilon Omega Epsilon. The first letters in the Greek words Epsilon Omega Epsilon, or EOE, carry specific significance. The first E represents the idea of excellence. The Honor Society was created to recognize students like you who strive for excellence in both your life as a student and beyond. The next letter O stands for online. As students seeking a degree online, we understand the unique qualities you possess and the challenges you must overcome to pursue a degree. And finally, the last E stands for education. Each of you understand the value of education and have chosen to further your knowledge in order to improve your life and the lives of others around you. Thus, Epsilon Omega Epsilon forms the framework for our motto, excellence in online education, which is what each of you exemplifies and why you are being honored today. Now, I will explain the seal and motto. Your membership in EOE recognizes your love of learning, pursuit of knowledge, and search for excellence. I would like to take a moment to explain the significance of the Epsilon Omega Epsilon seal and motto and how they can serve as reminders of these attributes. First, the EOE seal is made up of the three colors of the society, maroon, black, and gray. These colors were chosen as a tribute to Texas Women's University, which is the founding university of EOE. The symbols on the EOE seal are representative of the special characteristics of its members. A garland of oak leaves is in the middle and represents strength and endurance. Like the mighty oak, each of you has proven your strength and endurance by continuing your education or returning to school to pursue your love of learning and further your career. We all know that you have families, jobs, and hobbies that consume your time, and to add to the special distinction of student, to you, who you are right now takes strength and endurance, especially when you find yourself tired, busy, and unmotivated. Resting on top of the oak leaves is an open book which symbolizes scholarship and the cultivation of wisdom, a driving force of why you were seeking a degree. You would not be in college right now if there were not some part of you that desires to learn. Whether you are doing it out of necessity for a job change or advancement, or simply because you want to expand your current body of knowledge, your desire to learn more is motivating you to get online and complete those assignments. Finally, the EOE motto, Excellence in Online Education, summarizes what we see in each of you. You have been chosen for membership because you are truly doing an excellent job in your classes. You each have a GPA that is reflective of your hard work. We know that many of you have returned to school after an extended absence and have worked harder than ever before in order to keep this GPA that you now have. So congratulations, and thank you for striving for excellence. As members of EOE, we challenge and encourage you to uphold these characteristics, to passionately strive for academic excellence, even when the subject matter is uninteresting or difficult, to always pursue knowledge, even when you feel you have learned enough to get by, and to never give up your search for excellence, even when you feel you're already at your best. All of these things that you have heard are the aims and ideals of our honor society, of your honor society, and qualifications that are expected of you. Now, Rosie will come back up and administer the pledge of membership.
As members elect of Epsilon Omega Epsilon, would you please stand and read the membership pledge along with me? I pledge to uphold the ideals of Epsilon Omega Epsilon, to which I have been selected for membership. I will be true to the principles. I will continue to apply myself, and I will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Thank you. We'll now recognize each new member of the Epsilon Omega Epsilon Honor Society from the following programs. From our Bachelor of Business Administration and Human Resources, Gwendolyn King. Samantha Nance. Jessica Vasquez. From our Bachelor of Business Administration and Marketing, Lindsay Kern. Ashley Smith. From Bachelor of Business Administration and Management, Angelina Jones. Bachelor of General Studies, Marnie Boyers. Demetria Brown. Sylvia Cordell. Claudia Delvaux. Kristen Finley. Tiffany Forgas. Carla Gibbs. Jeremy Julian. Michael Nistick. Christine Russell, Tarina Soneman, Deanna Tenman, Tangela Tolbert, Sandra Wiggins. From our Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice, Erica Lighton. Magalai Martinez. From our Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene, Cynthia Maldonado. Victoria Reynolds. From our Bachelor of Science in Health Studies, Sherry Perry. Blessing Tate. Eloisa Vargas. Let's see, from our Health Studies, Angela Burkhart. Kathy Gamble. From our Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Angela Stevens.
We're going to switch off. Thank you for all of those who are patient with me as I call off these names. I'm going to say them with confidence. From our Executive Master in Business Administration, Andrea Bell, Alfredia Callias, Joseph Coyle, Martha De La Paz, Leticia Douglas, Candy Eggleston, Emily Gupton, Darlene Hernandez, Hayden Howard, Trisha Job, Erica Kirksey, Melina Lara, Lauren McKnight, Kendra McNeely, Devin Miller, Kelly Porter, Amy Quintero, Jimmy Riggins, Marcela Rodriguez, Keela Ross, Shelley Smith, Ariana Sowell, Leah Stewart, Faith Weaver, Katrina Williams, Diana Zamora Munoz. From our Master of Arts in Drama, Amy Jones. From our Master of Library Science, Jenny Botello, Skyla Bryant, Jill DeMarco, Deborah Farquhar, Kaylee Harrington, Deborah Hathaway, Yadira Lemon, Jessica Medina, Brown Hicks, Stephanie Ruiz, Rebecca Whittington. From our Master of Occupational Therapy program, Jacqueline Stevenson. From our Master of Science in Nursing Education, Shermel Edwards Maddox, Christy Hargrave. From our Masters of Science in Nutrition, Vanessa Aboud, Sarah Lee, Bachelor's of Science in Health Studies, Ashley Taylor. From a Master's of Science in Speech Language Pathology, Lori Kane. Cassie Medillion. Tamara Miller. Olga Utley Rodriguez. Heriberto Zamora. From our Masters of Education in Special Education, Rachel Lohr. From our Doctor of Occupational Therapy, Ingrid Frank. From our Doctor of Philosophy and Nursing Science, Heather DeGrand. And that's it. Congratulations to your new class.
Our first person didn't get a chance.
Oh, yes.
So your names we can applaud for you?
Kristen Finley, right?
Down in the back row.
Oh, the back row.
Oh, not us, but can we do Ashley Smith again because we weren't ready.
Ashley Smith.
So far.
Oh, that's anytime that we can help out, that's what we're all here for, each other in person or online. So our next guest to come and speak with you, it's a special treat for all of you. We will have Dr. Joshua Adams. Dr. Josh Adams is the Executive Director of TWU's Pioneer Center for Student Excellence. He is an expert in student retention and engagement and just recently became one of 10 administrators in the nation selected for the National Academic Advising Association. He is well known for how engaging he is in his online classes with a goal to make the online student experience as engaging in his online classes as they are in person. So we are pleased to welcome Josh Adams to come and bring a congratulatory welcome to the newest members of Epsilon Omega Epsilon. Please welcome me in joining him.
Well, thank you all very much. So I've already told Jessica and Rosie this. I'm a wanderer when I talk. So I've promised myself I'm keeping my hand on my podium today so that our members and the guests that have joined us online can actually see me as I'm talking. And then as an aside before I jump into this, I decided a long time ago when I began working in higher education that the only job at a university I never want to do is be a name caller at graduation because of how difficult it is. So good job, Jessica and Rosie, doing that. It's a mortifying experience if you've ever had to do it on this end. Thank you all for having me and for being here tonight. I think it's a wonderful honor, and especially after the day that I've had today. So I'm going to share with you all. It's been one of those days where you got to kind of just take a deep breath and get out of the way of the universe, because the universe has a plan and it's going to take you there. So for the past 2 days, I've been down at our Institute of Health Sciences in Houston, working out of the Pioneer Center located on our Houston campus, and had my plane all scheduled to come back this afternoon, and then I get on there and we have mechanical problems. So and luckily I had already told Jessica, as an FYI yesterday afternoon, I'm in Houston for 2 days, so I'm going to try my best to get back. So we're sitting there, and then get in the air, and we have crazy turbulence because there's some storms happening down in the Houston area. So we're hoping that those will come up to us in the Dallas area here in the next couple of days. Land at Dallas Love Field, traffic, as we know. Luckily, if any of you drove from Dallas up to Denton tonight or were listening in the Metroplex, I was north of the 18-wheeler that shut down 35 kind of in South Dallas today, so I was thankful for that. I understand it's back open now today, though. And I know this because as I was driving to campus this evening, listening to the traffic, I got pulled over and got a speeding ticket. So it was my first one in 11 years. As I asked the officer if he could see in his computer system, he said it was 2004 was the last time I had one. So got onto campus. I'm walking up to campus, into the building, and a little bit early, and the door's locked. to the building. And so I've had a series of things happening today that the universe is telling me something, and I quite don't know yet. I was telling Jessica before we started that hopefully the internet will stay working for us tonight, because it may be me that's kind of cursed us all. But so with that, I just want to jump in. I know I'm standing between you all and your business meeting, and then your ultimate congratulations. But I just want you all to reflect upon your accomplishments tonight and why you're here. And as a stats guy, I've got some numbers I'm going to throw out for you. So educational attainment in the United States, it's a big deal. It's in all of the news. Everybody is striving to achieve informal education, higher degree, more world knowledge, all of those types of things. So according to the 2014 census data, less than 35% of the population has a bachelor's degree. Less than 12% have a master's degree or a professional degree. Less than 4% have a professional doctorate. And then less than 2% have a traditional doctorate. So whatever program you're pursuing right now, I want you to know that you're moving not only into a world that is vastly different than where you sit today, but that you are really achieving something that not everybody in the United States gets an opportunity to pursue or to achieve. And that's a great accomplishment in and of itself. And then to know that you are part of an organization like Epsilon Omega Epsilon and an honor society here at TWU, where not only are you persevering in your degree attainment, but you're doing that with excellence, and you're really the cream of the crop for where you're sitting. So I just want you to take a moment and kind of take that in as we talk. This is hard. It's hard to obtain a degree. It's hard to stick with what's going on. You're having to balance work, family, school, children, partners, all of those different things. I, like probably many of you, was a first-generation college student as well. I'm the first doctor in my entire family, in my entire lineage of the Adamses. And I'm one of very few that actually has a bachelor's degree. And so I'm very proud of that fact. And so I remember how difficult it was. I brilliantly chose to adopt a child while I was in the middle of writing my dissertation. And so one of the pictures that I often share with people, especially our doctoral students who are struggling, is me sitting at my laptop writing my dissertation with my newborn sitting in my lap, because she actually helped me write chapters 3 and 4 while I was finishing my degree. Something that I think for the rest of both of our lives we'll remember those moments. We also had to make the sacrifice of choosing to become a single family, or a single income family. Right after we adopted my first daughter, my partner decided that he wanted to go back to school. He had never gone to college. And so he was in his late 30s at the time. And we made the decision and the sacrifice that he could go to school and he could finish his bachelor's degree because of how much education meant to both of us. And we wanted to be able to show our children that education, and formal education more specifically, was incredibly important. So it all reminds me of a quote. I'm a quote guy. And this one is attributed to one of the individuals in this world that might be kind of odd because she doesn't know who I am, but I know who she is, and she's guided me in a lot of different ways. It's Miss Oprah Winfrey. So I love Oprah. And this quote is attributed to her, and I think it really typifies what I'm trying to get across tonight. She says, "Do one thing in your life you cannot do. Fail at it. Try again. Do better the second time. The only people who never tumble are those who never mount the high wire. This is your moment." And I think that wonderfully sums up where we're all at today and where you all are at more specifically. So within my job as the executive director of the Pioneer Center for Student Excellence, I'm often asked to talk about excellence. And I always kind of think of that a little odd, especially given the population that I'm talking with tonight. You guys are truly exhibiting what excellence is and what excellence means to be a student. But more specifically, I'm often asked, how do you achieve excellence? Does it mean that you're the best? Does it mean that it's perfection? Is it an outcome or a pursuit? Where are we really striving for? And so when I think of excellence, and whenever I'm giving talks or workshops or anything on what excellence truly is, it always comes back to three main points to me. Authenticity, learning, and leadership. And I think that those three concepts are encapsulated into Epsilon and Omega Epsilon as well. And so I love your induction. What is that called?
Motto.
Motto. Yes, your motto. Because I believe that achieving excellence is an ongoing process, and it's not necessarily an outcome. It takes constant work and improvement. So authenticity. I believe that being your authentic self enables you to pursue excellence. And so a couple questions that I have for all of our inductees and their family members and their friends that are joining us. How do you stay true to yourself in the face of adversity? How do you stay grounded? And how do you ensure that you are being your honest and your true self as you're pursuing your academic degrees and credentials? As an introvert, I draw from myself and solitude to stay focused. Whenever I'm asked to give speeches, I always think of those great individuals that can give keynote speeches and that can really draw from an experience of someone that they know or a passion of theirs. And when I think about that, it's great and it's wonderful for them, but that's not exactly me. I'm more of a questioner. I like to ask people questions, and I like people to reflect upon the pieces that are important to them. So whenever I'm recharging or thinking of my authentic self, I make sure that I schedule alone time, I meditate, I journal, I do a lot of things that may inherently seem selfish, but what I've learned and what I realized is that it's not selfish at all, but it allows me to be fully present for others in my life. From my job, I'm asked and lovingly meet with students constantly. I'm engaged with a lot of different people all day long, running from meetings to meetings, and it's quite frankly draining on me and on my personality. And so I realized that none of this is selfish for me to take some time for myself, because it's enabling me to be a better colleague, friend, father, mentor, and mentee to all of those that I am engaged with. The second key piece to me with excellence is all about learning. I believe that in every situation we can learn something. And I have another quote from you, from a woman who is near and dear to TWU's heart. And it's Eleanor Roosevelt, one of our former First Ladies. So the quote that is attributed to her is, "The purpose of life, after all, is to love it, to taste experience at the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experiences. Learning oftentimes is scary. You have a fear of the unknown. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what piece you're going to learn. And what I believe is key to those learning experiences is the reflection and knowing, and this is why I'm going to ask you tonight, when you're at home or when you're driving home or when you're in the shower or wherever you get a moment to think, what does it mean for this moment to happen for you tonight, to be inducted into such a wonderful honor society here at Texas Women's University? Journaling is a wonderful way to do this and to remember what this day was like for you. Talking with others. My favorite is finding an accountability partner, somebody that will hold you accountable no matter what is going on those days that you don't want to finish that paper, that you don't want to complete that homework assignment or show up to that class. Somebody that's going to kind of take you by the hand and help you get there. I have learned, though, that not everyone in your life is a good accountability partner. One of my best friends, and when I was an undergraduate in college, we actually had a conversation about how we were going to be each other's accountability partners. And then I went to her one day and said, I really don't want to go to this class. It was a subject that I was not very interested in. It was one of those courses that we all need to take in order to get through our degree program. And her response to me was, okay, let's go shopping. And I said, okay, let's go. And so we went. But then upon reflection, I realized, you know what, she's probably not the best accountability partner for me, because she's just going to enable me to do all of the things that I really want to do and not ensure that I'm growing up and that I'm being responsible for my own learning and taking that responsibility. So I quickly pivoted and I found another accountability partner. And I often seek in those that I consider my mentors and even my colleagues within the work world now, those individuals that I know are going to hold me accountable. And so I would encourage you to find an accountability partner as well. Earlier I was mentioning reflection, and study after study and all of the research literature talks about how reflection is key to learning and really kind of close that loop. We do this in several ways as formal students within your degree program, whether that is completing homework assignments, reviewing your notes, sometimes even taking tests or writing essays. All of those things can be designed as reflection pieces for you. And I would encourage you to broaden that and bring that into your personal life as well. Actually, yesterday on the Houston campus, I had several meetings, and one of them was with one of our wonderful faculty members, particularly within the nursing program. And she said something that I think stuck with me. As she was talking through a leadership experience that she had been going through, she mentioned that she always, in every meeting she's in, every classroom that she's in, whenever she's teaching, whenever she's writing, she's always thinking ahead. She's always thinking of the future and how you implement something or how you do something. And what she has learned through her leadership experience that she's been engaged with over the last 2 years is that she has to reflect. She needs to know what has come before. She needs to know what she learned that day. And so she actually has to consciously choose to have those reflection periods and those reflection pieces in her life. So use her as an example if you're somebody that is constantly looking to the future. Sometimes, while I definitely believe that being future-minded is critically important to all of us, but sometimes it's important to sit and just think about what's happening during the day. The third piece of excellence is leadership. And I have my final quote for you all. And this one is from John Quincy Adams, or it's a tribute to John Quincy Adams. Incidentally, I am not related that we know of. And when speaking about leadership, he said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and do more, and become more, you are a leader. So we tend to define in our society leadership as those with titles. So it's presidents, and it's vice presidents, and it's all of those different people that have that title that you are seeking or that you're trying to obtain. And I'm by no means trying to discount those that seek positions of leadership in formal situations and settings. But I tend to look at it from a different perspective. There are several different books and several different pieces of literature that talk about different theories of leadership. Two in particular that kind of resonate with me. One is situational leadership, and then taken to a little bit of a different place in more of an academic setting. It's called Leadership in Place. There's a wonderful book for those of you that are choosing or think you want to stay in academia, whether that be a faculty member or an administrator sometime in the future. I would encourage you to read the book Leadership in Place. Both of these, situational leadership and the Leadership in Place book, talk about how any one of us can be a leader at different times. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have the formal title, but it's about espousing the qualities that you feel a good leader has. Everything from being a servant to others within your group or your community or within your position, speaking up when you see something that may not be working correctly or maybe need to go in a different direction. It's showing the actions that you will get on the floor, and Amy and I both know this, as does Jessica. When we work in our positions, we do everything from give keynote speeches to pick up the trash after you guys are all gone, to sometimes we have to do some kind of odd things behind the scenes that you wouldn't necessarily think we all are doing. But I think it's an important characteristic of leaders to be willing to dive in and to get involved. But so a question for you all, and for you to think and reflect upon, is what defines a leader to you? With your authentic self, what do leadership qualities mean to you? And what really, when you dig down deep, what are those qualities of those people that you look for in a leadership, and how can you then take some of those qualities on and embed them within your personality? So these are my quick thoughts on excellence, but I do have a few final questions for you all whenever you're at home reflecting. And I think it's appropriate for this type of induction ceremony. So I want you to think about what in your life will leave a mark for the next generation. Will that be for your children, for the people that you will be teaching once you're done, for those colleagues within your current position in where you work? How are you going to leave your mark? What will your legacy be for those individuals? Will it be a quote of inspiration, a new path for someone else? What are your goals, and how do you wake up every morning and every day moving closer to achieving them? Because I think that truly is the pursuit of excellence, is that you have a clear definition and articulation of where your goals are and where you want to go as a human, and that every day you pursue that and you try and get closer and closer to achieving those goals. So thank you all for listening to me for a few minutes, and congratulations again. I'm very excited, and I will say that the day has been long for me, but why I'm most excited about ending my day with you all is that it reminds me of why I got into education in the first place, and why I love working at a university, particularly one like Texas Women's University that focuses in on online education and distance education. Whenever I'm away from students for too long, I kind of forget sometimes how your passion for what you're learning inspires me to do my job better. So thank you all for that. Congratulations again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Adams, for that wonderful message, and sincerely thank you for taking the time out today to join us.
Yeah, for
The
my
issues that you
version.
did. We would also like to thank the following people: Jessica Birchfield, Ann Phillips, Teaching and Learning with Technology, the Office of Alumni Relations, College of Arts and Sciences, and Office of Care. Yes. And before we conclude this evening, we'll have a brief general business meeting to discuss the topics that you see here on the slide today. What we'd like to do is discuss ways that you can get involved, show your leadership, like Dr. Adams has mentioned. If you have any desires to participate, maybe close by, we know that we've done some things over the internet. We've used Google Plus to have meetings and those types of things where we could maybe get some of you to participate. It would be wonderful. There are ways that we communicate through blackboards, through discussions, we have activities, post items on there of interest, merchandise suggestions, so there's some communication options there. There's a Facebook, Epsilon Omega Epsilon. We have a newsletter that should be going out once a semester. Activities to at the meet and greets, and inducted members that we have right now for information. Before the 80 that were inducted today was 1,248. The alumni of Epsilon Omega Epsilon is 1,024. Active members 203. We have a 501c3 status, and officer elections will be in the spring. We also have a mentoring program. It's an opportunity for peer mentoring, and we'd like for you to make the most of your membership. And we're very open to speaking to you individually after. Thank you. This officially concludes our business meeting, and now we'll end tonight with some final remarks from Jessica.
Before we get too far into it, I want to give these to Dr. Adams as a thank you.
Thank you.
all of us here at EOE. It was wonderful. Thank you. So, I'm wrapping it up this evening. Again, I'm Jessica Birchfield. I am the face that you see on all of your emails. I send a lot of them. I'm so sorry for that. But I want you all to know that I love working with this population and I love being the advisor of this organization. There are so many areas of growth, as Rosie was saying, on ways that we can get involved on an online level. And I want all of you to know that I'm open to that. And that if we work together, we can make this organization what you want it to be. If you want it to be a place where you can network with others who have graduated, of those 1,000 alumni who already have jobs, we can make that happen. But really what I need from all of you is for you to work with me. I can be a driving force, but I can only go so far. And really what I've learned more than anything in my time being here at TWU is that the best messages come from the students. And if we need to make movement and we want to go and achieve goals, coming from the students is where it is first. So I challenge all of you, if you're interested in taking your membership to the next level and being a leader or excelling or expanding your leadership skills, being an officer of EOE is a great opportunity for all of you whenever the time comes in spring. So I encourage you to think about that. The other pieces of that is that I want you to remember the significance of what it means for you to be here being inducted today. Not only just being part of this honor society, but that you have worked to achieve this GPA and achieve this status along with everything else that you're doing in your life. And you're continuing to pursue your degree. So know that that goes recognized in our eyes, and we want you to also remember to recognize it yourselves. Sometimes it's easy to kind of drown in the education or the classes that you're in, but remember that you're doing this for a reason, and if anything, we want to continue to be that force to remind you, to be your accountability partner, essentially. Not the one that takes you to go shopping. But other than that, I just want you all to know that I appreciate you, and we here at Texas Women's University appreciate you and all that you're doing. With that being said, I want to conclude the evening, and thank you all who are watching online. I'm going to turn off the recording now, and we'll break for the evening.